Disrupt, we are thrilled to have another disruptor with us today, and it's Sridhar Mullapudi, who many of you know from Citrix. He's the Executive Vice President of Product Management and Product Design. Sridhar, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Doug. Excited to be here again at another Disrupt event.
Big announcement that just came out, the announcement with EndUser Computing, you, and IGEL around ARM. And right now it's only focused on Citrix. So let's start off with that because it's big news. What's your feeling about it? Where do you see it going, and so on?
Yeah, obviously we are super excited about it. Not just because it's unique to Citrix and IGEL, but I also think while ARM has gained a lot of prominence in the consumer side of the industry for a long time, it's rapidly evolving and growing in the enterprise side, right? We've kind of seen, NVIDIA's acquisition of ARM, as well as, Apple's kind of moves into the M1 chip. So I think it's really exciting times. I still remember talking to, IGEL and as well as, EndUser Computing and other partners in this space, almost a year back. So really excited to see that, we're going to get this new innovation where it's not just about cost, but also price performance and meeting enterprise requirements. So really excited.
It's interesting you mentioned Apple in that, because obviously one of the transformations that we've seen out there in the world, in no small part because of COVID, has been an evolution and escalation of working from home, evolving towards working from anywhere. And Citrix and your Workspace Hub have been right at the heart of this. So that's crossing the line between the enterprise and the consumer very directly. What's Citrix's view of the whole work from anywhere space, your role in it, and where it's going?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that, Doug, because I would say Citrix has always been talking about work is not a place, work is what you do, and I think it feels like because of COVID, we kind of had to run this global experiment where pretty much everybody had to work from home, and it kind of became widely accepted that you don't have to be at a place to do the best work, right? And Citrix has always been talking about it, building and providing infrastructure and platform solutions to help employees work from anywhere, as well as provide those collaboration tools with security and experience kind of built into it. So we're obviously excited. Our customers relied on our solutions, especially over the past year, to kind of scale the work from home solution. And while we all agree, post-vaccine, we might not be in a 100% work from home situation, but I think it's not going back to how it was. It's probably a hybrid work scenario with flexible work schedules for all of us. We're excited, and we're kind of building towards that vision of really providing that platform for the future of the work.
And what are the things that Citrix is focused on right now? I'm guessing just from what you said, and from everyone I've talked to, ease of use is one. People have to be able to go home, plug in, and it works. As I jokingly say, on your kid's Mac. If that's all you got to be able to make that work. And so ease of use is one, and security is obviously another. So maybe address both of those if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now I got a Mac device working. A few months back, it was actually a new Chromebook that my kid started borrowing it because he needed. So it's pick your device. I just got the new EndUser Computing IGEL, I think last month from Jim, and I started setting it up. So I play with all the devices, and that's kind of one of the beauty of Citrix Workspace and being able to support any device. And if you really think about, kind of go back to what I said, we're trying to build that workspace. I mean, we build that workspace platform and infrastructure that we've been doing for a long time. But now with everything moving to cloud and distributed work, it's just the architecture and the platform and really offering it as a service and accelerating, cloud and cloud services has been the big priority for us over the past few years. And because of COVID, that's just accelerated. Right. And so our focus has been, driving our solutions, customers and partners as well towards that cloud journey. We call it the hybrid multi-cloud journey. And that's what we are focused on. And the platform is built with both experience and security in mind right now. And nobody talks about Citrix as a traditional security company, but secure delivery is a key value proposition of what we do, right? Modern applications and workspaces and collaboration tools. You obviously seen the announcement probably of our intent to acquire Vrike as again kind of expanding that workspace play and collaboration play and combining that with a lot of other assets we have in helping building that end-to-end platform from secure delivery of applications to really empowering users to kind of do their best work with the collaboration tools.
You mentioned hybrid and multi-cloud, and obviously your relationship with Microsoft has been core, essential for both of you. Is there a shift in your cloud strategy right now in no small part driven by how the workspace has changed?
Yeah, I mean, Citrix has always been about choice, right? Choice in terms of, devices and application workloads and even, clouds and where customers want to do workloads. We don't actually drive that, right? Customers usually start the conversation, which cloud they want to end up in, or how many number of clouds they want to end up in, what workloads they want to put, and we support all of that. Microsoft obviously is our strategic partner. We've been working closely with Microsoft, for more than 20 years. We have a great strategic relationship that we announced last year, which is really a culmination of the work we've been doing them for a long time, really building on top of Azure and Office and Microsoft 365 platform perspective. So Microsoft's always our strategic partner, and at the same time we do believe in providing choice for customers. If they pick multiple clouds for where they want to put their broader workloads beyond Windows workloads. Yeah.
Fantastic. Sridhar, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you for being a disruptor.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. And thank you to the whole Disrupt team.
We're thrilled to have a guest with us again today, who many of you know well, Cam Vedbrat, who's the General Manager of Windows Virtual Desktop at Microsoft. He's been a guest with us before, a critical partner to IGEL. Cam, welcome to Disrupt Unite.
Doug, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here with the Disrupt community once again.
Well, it all started a year ago, and there was a big announcement, and we thought this is really exciting. We're going to grow a new business, and then bam, COVID happened. And tell us a little bit, if you would, about how that explosion has impacted you and Microsoft and your WVD plans.
Of course, yeah, it has been quite a year. I'll say that. When I was at Disrupt in Munich a year ago, I think none of us anticipated the real kind of rush of demand that we would see in terms of the ability to enable remote work in a secure way for organizations around the world as they were responding to the pandemic and to everything that was happening. And so it has been a crazy year. I think those first few months we saw a lot of folks just kind of scrambling, trying to find a solution that would work for them as they were just kind of going through. Each organization had its own kind of response process. And then as we got through the summer and folks kind of settled into understanding that this is going to be a little while, you saw more solutions that were kind of getting built for a little bit more regular usage. And we saw just a ton of growth and uptake in WVD and in our work with the IGEL clients throughout that period of time.
So as you described it to me, well, we went from test to scale literally overnight. And how has IGEL's role changed in the last year, if it has at all?
Yeah, indeed, it has. It has very much followed that pattern. IGEL has been, a great partner since we launched WVD. They were with us when we initially went GA, our first Linux client partner, and to this day, our largest. In the early days, as we first went general availability, IGEL was there for really helping us get started and facilitating a number of kind of scale trials that we saw organizations that wanted to access the service from the IGEL client. And in the last year, as we have seen more of those organizations scale up, we've seen the IGEL partnership really scale up with them. And so we've gone from kind of more smaller deployments to a place where now, we have deployments where organizations have thousands of IGEL clients connecting to Windows Virtual Desktop in Azure. And so it's been great to see how the partnership has been able to grow with the service and in service of the organizations that are using it.
And a huge part of this has been Teams, which is a big part of your world, obviously, because it's been one of the ways human beings have united and kept together over the last year. Talk to us, if you would, please, just about the evolution of Teams in the big picture of WVD.
Certainly, yeah. I think one thing that everybody felt really viscerally as we transitioned to remote work and to working from home was this need to find a way to kind of really have a connection with our peer group, with our partners, with our customers in a more personal way from a distance. And Teams is really the backbone of the personal connection that enables remote collaboration for us. And so when we look at Teams and WVD together, these things really work hand in hand to facilitate that type of remote productivity experience where Teams facilitates a ton of collaboration. And then, folks are using their WVD environments to run all sorts of different use cases. And we've seen interest from every major segment, whether it's manufacturing, healthcare, finance, education, all sorts of different use cases that call for different types of individual productivity, whether it's knowledge work using products like Microsoft Office or deeper kind of engineering design work with whether it's in CAD or video editing or kind of more task-oriented work. Each of these things kind of has its own form of productivity, and it has its own form of collaboration and communication that goes with it as well. And so having Teams ready to work with these other experiences on top of WVD has really been a powerful combination on top of this kind of great foundation we have of the Microsoft Cloud with Azure and M365.
It's an interesting comment you make that I think the first reactive phase when this first hit was, all right, we got to help, our people have to connect, we have to connect to our customers, and that may be call centers, for example. Sales certainly has to be connected. But now what you're saying, and the question is going to say, where do you think it's going, is that now all parts of an organization are working virtually. So Teams is just one of the many tools in the Microsoft suite of tools that organizations are going to have to tie together into one unified experience so that the business can run to its best. Where do you see that going?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of the things that became very clear to all of us in the last year is that, remote work is not for certain tasks, right? Like you can't just say like, well, this whole part of my productivity is gonna get postponed until things change. And so, we see that need to kind of create connection and enable collaboration show up in every dimension. And whether it's, within an organization, across from one organization to another, whether it's like between Microsoft and partners like IGEL or with our customers, we really want to enable the full scope of whatever somebody's productivity and collaboration experience is in a remote way, in a virtualized environment. And so bringing all of these things together goes a long way towards that. And we see this again, whether it's students doing classwork from home, whether it's healthcare workers working in a clinic or in an exam room, you name the setting, it always calls for this combination.
Cam, thank you so much for being with us again today. We really appreciate it. Thank you from everyone at Disrupt.
Thank you so much, and thank you, IGEL.
Well, hello, Disrupt, and we are thrilled today to have with us Shika Mittal, who's the Senior Director of Product Management at VMware. VMware is obviously a huge player in the end-user computing space. Shika, thank you for being with us today. And we have a very short session, so I'm going to kick off with the first question, which is, you're committed to a multi-cloud strategy at VMware, and there's a lot of conversation that says that's a very good strategy to have these days. Talk to us a little bit, if you will, about the multi-cloud strategy that VMware has adopted and why you think that's good for your customers.
Yes, happy to be here. Absolutely. Multi-cloud is a huge focus area for VMware. And we are seeing our customers actually gravitate to that model as well, where many customers are choosing more than one cloud. So our goal really is to stay flexible and provide that kind of power of choice for our customers so that they can run their desktops and apps on any cloud of their choice. So we have partnerships right now with AWS. We have partnership with Azure. In fact, on Azure, we run both Horizon as desktop as a service on Azure native. And then we also have an offering where customers can manage or self-manage Horizon on AWS. We also have partnerships with Google, with Oracle Cloud, and our friends at Dell. And really the kind of offering that we have here is that no matter where the customer runs the desktops and apps, they will have a consistent experience, the single pane of glass that we want to offer our customers, and a lot of these day two management conveniences so that they're really leveraging the power of the cloud, no matter where the desktops are running, or if there's a mix and match and they can move the workloads around.
Well, you're clearly one of the few organizations that can deliver a consistent experience across a wide variety of cloud experiences, and that's fantastic. Now, if you move that down the chain to the user, or up the chain or out the chain, depending on how you choose to look at it, obviously the last year has totally changed the whole work from home, work at an office, workspace experience. And the world is going from work from anywhere. So obviously this multi-cloud supports that. Where do you see that going, and the challenges or successes in creating a great user experience for someone, no matter where they are or what kind of device they're on?
Yeah, what a huge area for us to be looking at as an entire end user community, end user computing community. So, we saw great momentum as we were helping our customers build business continuity solutions in 2020. And then at VMworld, we had announced the future-ready workforce solutions with VMware technologies like SASE, digital workspace, and endpoint security. SASE meaning, secure access, secure edge, where we bring networking and security together. So think in terms of SD-WAN, your zero trust networks, and next-gen firewall as a service. Digital workspace being the next pillar is a big deal, and it's really how do you enable a secure workforce from anywhere? So think about employee experience, think about BYOD security. And speaking of devices, in unified endpoint management, VMware has been a leader in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner for 3 years in a row through our Workspace ONE solution. And in fact, that's an area that IGEL and VMware are partnering closely on as well. And then speaking of VDI, well, that's a cornerstone of digital workspace and being able to provide that secure workspace working from anywhere. So that's what digital workspace is about. And then the third pillar is the endpoint security. So think about antivirus threat detection with Carbon Black. And what we are doing now is we are building on that announcement, and we're very excited to be taking this to the next level. So we're working on some very exciting news where we will be bringing these 3 pillars together. So stay tuned for that. And I'll also add that we recently did a Forrester study where we spoke to about 500 global leaders, decision makers really in the space of security and strategy for remote workforce. And the study completely validates the need for a holistic solution around this, future-ready workspace. So we're very excited about that, and stay tuned for more.
Well, that's exciting news. And we're hearing that from everyone, that the trick is you've got to have flexibility. So you've given us 2 great examples of that in the cloud, and also how you think of the user, but also ease of use and security while you're giving them the ease of use. And so if you think of the pillars, you start with the cloud, you move towards what kind of environment you're creating. And the third is, what is the way you offer it to your customers? So the old, you're locked in for X years model is gone, and you've made announcements around that. And you're moving, as I understand, much more towards a SaaS model, a subscription model. Where are you at VMware, and where do you see that going?
Yeah, spot on. We're absolutely moving into the SaaS world. Software as a service is really the best way to leverage these cloud services, without getting locked into any one kind of offer, if you will. I mean, even with our Horizon Cloud offering, which is multi-cloud based, the goal is to provide one subscription that allows you to go to mix and match the different kind of platforms. So yes, we are heavily leaning into the subscription world. In fact, we just recently have moved away from our perpetual license model. We are encouraging our customers to adopt subscription. And the goal is really to get to a consumption-based model at some point, so that we are paying for what we are using. We are offering these services, and the cloud is the best vehicle to be able to provide that.
Well, clearly the last year has caused all of us to change, and VMware was already really well positioned coming into COVID, but with all the changes, I think I would venture to say you're better positioned than ever, because you saw a lot of this coming and you've built flexibility into the model that you're creating and end user experience into everything. That's a good place to be in.
Absolutely. It's almost humbling to have a role to play in this, strange situation with the pandemic, but we are happy to be able to provide a secure anywhere workforce and the ability to have digital workspace.
Well, Shika, thank you so much for joining us today on behalf of the entire IGEL community and ecosystem. Thank you for your time. Thank you, VMware, for being partners in this, and all the best to you, and have a fantastic year.
Thank you. My pleasure.